So I want to keep my promise up to make more videos in 2026 than I did in 2025. So I'm going to be starting to cover more niche topics that I like, and one of which includes the Power Rangers, which is funny to me because I think the last time I talked about Power Ranger was in 2022, and I was speculating on Cosmic Fury before it aired. That was like a long time ago, like 4 years ago. I am old. But so are all of us, and so are Power Rangers, so it's whatever. So for a quick recap, if you haven't heard, Power Rangers is coming back to Disney Plus. Um, which is funny to me because Power Ranger was on Disney because they were owned by Disney back in the 2000s, and now they're coming right back to Disney to air their new reboot on there. And I guess Disney is happy to have them back in the fold. Now, we haven't heard too much about it. We heard who the showrunners are, and nothing casting had been going underway. You know, that had been well known to fans for a while now. And supposedly the casting kind of been finished up. But here comes, what you have right here is the rough draft of a script written by the new showrunners. That will be Jonathan Steinberg and Dan Shosley, written for the Percy Jackson reboot, which is also on Disney Plus. But I not watched it or read anything relating to Percy Jackson, so I can't say how good it is. But the fandom seems to appreciate them taking on the project. So, yeah, if you know the various creator that have been part of Power Rangers' supposed reboot on and off for years, just the fact that this is happening right now is a big win for anybody, especially for the fans. But back to it. So what you see in front of your screens is the supposed rough draft script written by the two showrunners, dated February 16th, 2025, so roughly a year ago. Now, this came from Jin Saku, or just Jin, who is funny enough a mutual of mine. I knew him back in his early days. I knew him when. Alright, that's enough bragging about that. So, he was hyping this up on Twitter, and he revealed that he had received parts of this leaked script or rough draft. Most likely a rough draft, because this was like a year ago, so things have definitely changed now. So, let's see what it said. Oh yeah, like he said, a full disclosure, this is according to him, he only received bits and pieces, not the entire thing, and they're out of order. So anything could have changed by this point. But he can confirm that the names of Billy, Jason, Zach, Trini, and Kim does not appear in the script. So this reboot will introduce new Rangers. He cannot confirm if the C's are MMPR, but they are MMPR colored. And an added detail that the Ranger team seemed to have gotten their powers from a Ranger team that existed in the past. It could be MMPR. A refresher of the MMPR colors, they're red, blue, black, and yellow respectively. You should probably know them by memory because MMPR had been pushed to the moon because of nostalgia, so it makes sense they want to borrow some iconography from Power Rangers' most successful era. Now, he also mentioned in this draft the red is written to be as a male, but as we know, the edition has been open for all genders, so that could have changed by the final version. And this does corroborate with something else that had been leaked from another account. I'll get to that in a second. He also mentioned a villain that appears to be female, specifically the one line that he read as, quote, "She is too dangerous." No further context was added, but that stood out to him. And lastly, this exists with casting rumors. If you don't know, they were casting a whole lot of young people, meaning we're back in high school. Makes sense, teenager with attitude. Plus, if you want to introduce this to new fans, that's better. The more new fans we get, the more the Power Rangers community can still continue, and the more the show can keep on going. Now, adding on to the part that I said about casting, we got the supposed name placements. That being Charlie, River, Jordan, Frankie, and Bailey. And we got further confirmation from Jin himself that a female Red was already cast. So I'm going to assume by that order, Charlie is red, River is blue, Jordan is black, Frankie is yellow, and Bailey is pink. Now, between Frankie and Bailey, Frankie sounds like a gender-neutral name, just like Charlie. If you know a Charlie, they're probably either male and female. Same thing with Frankie. So, and Blood Yellow has always been a color for our Power Rangers that tend to be swapped between genders already. Blood Bailey sounds like, a girly enough name, so she's probably going to be pink. And we already got some casting confirmed. Now I was taken aback when I heard this name again. This is, the Red Ranger, Charlie, is going to be played by Peyton Elizabeth Lee. If you don't know, her work includes being the lead of Andy Mack, the Disney Channel show. Which, after that, I don't know where else she appeared in. And funny enough for Andy Mac, I think that was the last show on Disney Channel I ever watched. I never finished it because I dropped Disney Channel afterwards. But I thought she was good in that. And it's crazy for me. I'm so used to her being so young and having short hair, but now look at her. She has like her hair is so long. I'm gonna put up a picture of Annie Mac if you don't remember. Like here it is. I'm so used to her looking like this. Enough about that. Let's get back to Power Rangers. Now, coming from Legacy of Nerd, another reputable source of the community, Momoa Tamada from Last Airbender, who you don't remember, she plays Tai Ling in season 2. I've not watched it, but I didn't hate the first season, so hopefully she's good in that one. Is set to play the Pink Ranger. Now, this casting works well because she's pretty young and she does come from a very popular show on Netflix, so she brings some star recognition to this new reboot, which is probably going to be needed. We also got further speculation from Jin Saku, confirmation, I mean. So this is Jim Olet, and Jin said, I kind of like this guy. Keep an eye on him. Speculating that, yeah, he's probably going to be on the Ranger team. Whether he be playing Frankie, Jordan, or River is yet to be seen. Also see in the comment that people say he has Tommy vibes, and I'm like, really? This guy? If I were to pick, I think he might be the Yellow Ranger. He doesn't seem to have that kind of face that kind of represents that, but I don't know. What do you guys think? I suppose to clarify, Power Rangers tends to cast low tier to unknown actors, and this still kind of follows that trend. But with Momoa joining the cast, we're also getting some people with some star power in this cast as well. So yeah, well, I think he looks young enough to pull off a teenager look. Okay, but anyway, moving on. Jin also tweeted this out, saying, "Do you prefer Team Armor or Spandex for the Power Rangers reboot?" Which is interesting to me. He also tweeted this too, but this was days earlier. And if you don't know, this is the current team in the comics right now, Power Rangers Prime, and the female Red Ranger. Well, I just said it. They have a female Red Ranger, and their armor, well, their Ranger uniform, are armor based. So I'm taking this as a bit of a confirmation that maybe Power Rangers, the reboot, will have their uniform be armor based rather than the spandex of old, which kind of makes sense when you think about it. For a show that's about superheroes on Disney Plus, which has Marvel superheroes, you might want to emulate the armor look of the MCU. Because wherever the MCU takes over a costume from the comics and adapt it, they tend to be more armor based than cloth based, unless it's like specific heroes like Spider-Man. So we kind of see like an MMPR style suit, like from the movie. Remember, their suits are not spandex; they're armor based. So I think an armor Power Ranger for the default costume will be fine. So my brief thoughts on everything I just disclosed, because that's literally everything I've been reporting on. This happened so recently too, like days old. So my brief thoughts are this: I think the casting looks promising. I will say final judgments once we actually see them on screen. But the fact that Momoa is joining the cast means that we got some star recognition. So hopefully we might get some casting that can help bring more eyes to the reboot. Which is exactly what we need. But yeah. Also, the concept of these Rangers revitalizing the Power Rangers kind of remind me of Ninja Storm in their first episode, where it was like ambiguous of whether or not the Power Rangers were actually real before, this was still in the main canon universe. But I don't know, I'm excited to see what they have cooking up. Everything seemed to be falling in place pretty well. So I don't know, what's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. Let me like and follow. And yeah, have an awesome day.